The Dartzone Pro Mark III is one of the best, most versatile competition level blasters that will fit just about any need you could possibly imagine. And to do that, it's going to cost you 130 bucks. The Dartzone Pro Mark III is the third in the Dartzone Pro line. You have the Dartzone Pro Mark 1.1, the Dartzone Pro Mark II, then of course you have the Dartzone Pro Mark I, which is an orange version of this, but that was a limited release to like about 1,000 blasters, I think. The thing about those other two blasters is that they were both spring-powered. The Dartzone Pro Mark III, on the other hand, is flywheel-based. That means electronics are on board. So let's start with that. In this blaster, there is a tray for 8 AA batteries, which is actually quite a bit. And considering you're going to want to keep this competition level, you're going to want to keep those batteries extremely fresh. However, there was something surprising in the blaster that I think you kind of have to see to believe. With one simple screw, you can take out the battery tray and use your own rechargeable LiPo. This seemingly solves the problem people had with this blaster even before it released, because there wasn't any talk about using a rechargeable battery with it. Well, it seems like the people at Dartzone recognized that, and they wired this up specifically so people can put their own rechargeable batteries inside this. Considering LiPos are the gold standard for competition level blasters, having this wired up already for that kind of power, that kind of juice, is going to make this something immediately attractive to people who are modding blasters at, well, really what is a fraction of the cost. And because you're removing the battery tray, there's room for putting a LiPo in there. Other than the flywheel motors and the battery pack that is able to swap in and out, there is also this little bit of electronics, which is a red dot sight for the top of the blaster. This little guy takes 2 AAA batteries, so overall, if you don't have any of your own LiPo batteries or anything, this is going to just gobble up batteries quite often and quite frequently. But again, that's a problem that they've already solved for. It just takes a little bit of research and time on your end. As we continue here, let's take a little look at the style of this blaster. The nice thing is the blaster is symmetrical, and you often don't find that with flywheel blasters. Usually one side will have kind of the big chunky components for the flywheels. This looks to be a little different. It just gives it that nice balance. This matches pretty well with all of the other blasters in the Dartzone Pro line. The only thing I did notice is that the gray on the blaster is a little different color than that of the Dartzone Pro Mark 1.1 and that of the Dartzone Pro Mark II. Minor differences aside, they all have a cohesive family look to them that no matter which blaster you choose from this line, it is going to match with whatever one you pick up in the future. And of course, this being one of the Dartzone Pro blasters, the stock as well as the grip have a rubberized feel to them. The stock comes out a nice distance. It is rather solid, and it fits nicely on your shoulder if you're looking down the red dot sight. Another tiny update to the Dartzone Pro line is the magazine that comes with it. There's 2 of them, a full-length dart one and a half-length dart one. This one just has a slight angle to it. It is not a straight stick mag like you would notice from the other Dartzone Pro Mark 1.1 blaster. The 15-round mag gives you plenty of room, and it is so easy to swap out for the full-length one using the secondary mag release. And here we go. If you need to switch to full-length darts, it works just like that. So any of the full-length dart magazines are likely going to work, although I would be careful with the dart drums. They technically fit, however, the clearance on them is so small that if there's any variance in them, or possibly like a Titan 50-round drum, which I don't have, might not fit that little spot right there. The only real issue I have design-wise is that stock on the blaster, there are no sling attachment points. It's really just a small detail, but it would have been nice to have just a tiny little loop back here so that you could just easily sling it around and have it accessible. If you're curious, yes, you can use the stock from the Dartzone Pro Mark 1.1, and it fits right on the back of the Mark III. And of course, that means that all the other stock attachment points, specifically for the Nexus Pro, will likely fit on this as well. In fact, why not? Let's try it. Just wait a second. Yep, it does. The drop on the mag release is really nice and smooth. And if this blaster didn't have enough bells and whistles to it, it also has a select fire switch. One flip of the lever all the way to the other side gives you full auto. Now, the full auto isn't all that quick. You're not going to be able to dump your magazines all that quickly, which I suspect for a couple reasons. One, if you dump all your ammo in the blink of an eye, you are spending more time reloading your blaster than you are playing with it. The other reason being that a slower rate of fire allows the motors to spool up in between shots. If we're able to dump the entire thing, you would notice a distinct drop in performance as you get towards the bottom of your magazine. The spool up of this blaster sounds really beefy. You get an idea of what it sounds like when I press the rev trigger here when I put it next to my microphone. Yeah, you're getting some high RPMs there. Here's one thing I didn't think to include to like any review until it actually happened to me with this blaster, is that for whatever reason, I've just been a complete butterfingers with this thing. It has fallen on the ground and on the hard floor more times than I actually care to admit, but I suppose I'm admitting it now. Happy to report nothing has been broken or damaged on that. Really just like a minor scuff that happened. And, you know, it's something you will never even notice if you're not actively looking for it. So props to Dartzone for making a really quality blaster that I inadvertently drop tested at least 3 times. I tried most magazines with the Mark III, and a couple things struck me as odd. Well, actually just one thing, but it kind of came in pairs. It's these 2 things. Aren't compatible with the Mark III. That seems to be like a slight misstep, but other mag that didn't work is the Worker Talon Mag. Now, this is just a 15-round straight Worker Talon Mag that I got, and it doesn't really seat itself well into the magwell adapter. Considering that every other magazine that I tried just about worked, I can overlook that. Because as you're going to see, the performance of this is absolutely insane. If you like these types of dart blasters, and of course who wouldn't, I mean this one's pretty awesome, be sure to give this video a like, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications if you feel so inclined, because you're going to want to stay tuned to the Ri-Fi channel. Yeah, I changed my name. That's pretty exciting, right? So I think at this point we really need to try out the blaster. I'm going to get out my chronograph, I'm going to try full-length darts, half-length darts. We're just going to go nuts with this thing and see how it performs. So sit back, enjoy the Dartzone Pro Mark III. I think you're going to be really impressed. We're going to test out the Mark III with all of these different dart types. So the outside stuff was an absolute unmitigated disaster. Let's do this inside. We can figure out a way to do this. Some of those numbers were wow. Let me know what you think about what you saw, the numbers that were posted in the comment section below. The Dartzone Pro Mark III, just give me your thoughts on it, just based on raw power alone. I'm at a loss for words. Those numbers are absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous. Insane. Let's wrap it all up. The Dartzone Pro Mark III is an incredible blaster. I stand by what I said at the very beginning of this video. This is an extremely well-built, impressive blaster that is going to wow people. 130 bucks is a lot of money for a blaster, especially one that you still need to feed 8 AA batteries in bare minimum to get it working. However, that minor inconvenience is very small compared to what this blaster can do, how it performs, and how well it's built. If you were looking for a competition-grade flywheel foam dart blaster, there really isn't any other substitute for the Dartzone Pro Mark III. It's phenomenal, every way you slice it. It's gonna be exciting to see what happens to this line in the future, because if they keep making products this good, I can't imagine they would stop at 3. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time.